Usher is one of the most famous musicians in the world. But to his kids, he's just a dad. And after winning a legal battle with his ex-wife Tameka last year, the R&B superstar got primary custody of their 2 children. But Tameka's challenging that ruling, particularly after a scary accident at Usher's home. And now she's taking the heat from many of Usher's most devoted fans. I sat down with her for an exclusive interview to talk about everything from how they met to where it went wrong to why she thinks his fame has helped him win the legal battles over their children. It was an accident that had America holding its breath.
What's the address of the emergency?
The 5-year-old son of pop star Usher nearly drowned in a pool. But what followed offered the public a rare glimpse into a celebrity custody battle. Now Usher's ex-wife Tameka says she wants to set the record straight.
I feel like the kids are not getting proper care. And I think the reason for that is he's not there.
Talking for the first time exclusively to ABC News about her 5-year-old son's accident, the accusations, and revealing details of her effort to get more time with the children she shares with her superstar ex-husband. She says his massive success as an artist and TV personality often means he doesn't have time to care for their 2 young boys.
He travels, I would say, 85% of the time.
So how did things get so ugly?
Because he filed for full custody.
When they first got divorced, the former couple shared custody of the kids. But that all changed in 2011.
He filed to take my children away. And I don't know what his fans think, but am I not supposed to fight? Should I just sit there and say, okay, you can have them. Yeah, they're not that cute anyway. I don't like them that much. I mean, these are my babies.
It wasn't always like that. Tameka says she met Usher in 2001 when she was hired as a stylist for some of his music videos. That's some of her handiwork on his hit, You Don't Have to Call. They began dating in 2005. You were in love?
Oh, absolutely.
They married and had 2 children. But their relationship grew rocky, and by 2009, Usher released this song called Papers. Many, including Tameka, have thought the lyrics are loosely based on their breakup. And last week, their now 5-year-old son, Usher the 5th, nearly drowned in his father's swimming pool when his hand got caught in the drain at the bottom of the pool. The boy's aunt dove in after him, as did the housekeeper, but they couldn't shake him free. 2 contractors managed to free the boy, but he wasn't breathing.
CPR on him. Yes, they're doing CPR on him now.
Tameka describes the heart-stopping moment she got the call.
You know, he doesn't call me regularly, so when I saw his number come up, I immediately jumped up because I figured he has the boys. I need to get this.
Usher was a mile and a half away at a recording studio at the time and raced back to the house to see his son. Tameka says it was the superstar who called to tell her about the accident.
I was mad because I was like, how did this happen? Who was watching him? Why was my son underwater for, nearly 3 minutes? What happened here? What went wrong? Because you have all these staffers and assistants and maids and chefs and managers and, all these people that are around. Why could no one get my son out? And why was there no one in the pool with him?
Did you blame Usher for that?
No, I didn't. Blame is a hard word because I don't blame him for the accident. I just was angry that it happened on his watch.
For this mom, it was a horrifying case of deja vu. Her 11-year-old son, Kyle, from a different father, died in a jet skiing crash just 1 year ago. Did you think to yourself, please?
Yeah.
No, not something like this again?
Yeah. It was like I relived it. Like my brain just went into all those modes thinking, and I even said on the phone, I said, I've had this call before.
Last week, Tameka had to relive that moment yet again when the 911 tape was played in court.
It really scared me that my kids were in a situation, and it just sounded like complete chaos. When I heard the first time I heard the tape in its entirety was in court. And it really did hurt me. I'm very concerned about the different caregivers and the different maids and the different nannies and the different family members and my kids are around a lot of different people in their father's care. This is almost like the Twilight Zone. To be in a situation, it's like surreal. I have to pinch myself sometimes and say, You really don't have your kids? Like, it just doesn't even seem right.
Which is why she says just days after little Usher's near drowning, the couple was back in court. Tameka's lawyers requested an emergency hearing, hoping to at least win temporary custody of their 2 young sons.
When the incident happened, my attorney filed an emergency motion so that when my son was released from the hospital, he wasn't going to have to go back to the house where the incident happened. Because based on our custody schedule, just like now, my son was released into his father's care again. I deemed that an emergency.
May we approach, Your Honor?
But a judge disagreed. Usher had been granted primary custody at a prior hearing, and the court refused to change that, despite his ex-wife's arguments that he's rarely home because of his schedule recording and performing.
No, I never thought it was a fair ruling.
I think that wealthy men and men that are of status are winning these cases. Like, they're winning them, but these are very busy men. That's why they're wealthy. That's why they're wealthy.
Do you think that he won the custody fight because he's rich and because he's Usher?
I think that played a huge role.
But there was more than just that working against Tameka in court. You were accused of threatening him, of hitting him, spitting at his girlfriend.
Definitely.
All true?
All true. All true.
Should they be relevant in connection with the custody case?
I don't think they should be relevant. I mean, we went through a divorce. I was very hurt during that process. No, I'm not bitter. No, I'm not mad that he's moved on. But of course, the initial time that I saw the girlfriend, she was brought to my house on my son's birthday. It was very uncomfortable, and it was meant to push buttons.
You took a psychological examination in connection
Yes.
with this, and a psychological report in this case determined that you have a moderately severe mental disorder.
Ooh. The psych evaluation was something that his side ordered and said that we both had to take it. The irony is that when it was time to read the results of the psych evaluation, his attorneys moved to have the cameras out. His attorneys moved to have the records sealed. I had narcissistic personality traits. That's what actually the diagnosis was. I think we all have a little narcissistic personality disorder, especially those of us in the limelight. But I don't think it's something that affects your parenting. That's my issue.
So you think it's unfair to characterize you as having some sort of mental disorder?
I know it's unfair.
Now she gets her kids only 10 days a month. Do you think that he hates you right now?
Nope.
Do you hate him?
Absolutely not. No. He is the father of my children. I think that he has good intentions for the children. I think that he's a control freak a bit. You know, I think that he's accustomed to getting his way.
After the last hearing, the two shared what seemed to be a tender moment. At the end of the last hearing, Usher hugged you. How'd you feel about that?
I think we've coined that as the casket rub. I don't think it was a sincere gesture.
What do you want from this?
I'd like to have my first right of refusal, which means that when he is not present, the kids come home to their mom. They don't stay with the nanny and watch whatever show he's on. They come home to their mother. I had to see on Instagram that my 4-year-old lost his first tooth. That's my baby. You know, things that are like precious moments, I'm just missing them.
Tameka says she tries to remain positive by immersing herself in Kyle's World, a foundation she started in memory of her late son. Do you believe he's a good father?
Absolutely. I think he really loves my children.
And despite everything, she tells us she's hopeful that she and her superstar ex will figure it out for those 2 little boys. Do you feel powerless in this situation? I mean, you talk about how much you love your kids, how you want your kids back with you more of the time. And a court has said no.
At times I feel powerless. I feel powerless, but I am a fighter. I'm a fighter, and you know what? They're worth it, and I don't have anything else to live for. These are my children.